the police force? Is Commissioner Gordon going to be working with him, or he's going to be like, I don't like this black guy running around my city
all
solving
lives matter.
Yeah, if Commissioner Gordon is about some all lives matter shit, interesting comic book.
Let's just kind of quickly go through some of the the other big announcements that came from this Disney Investors Day event. So we got Armor Wars, which is basically going to bring back Colonel Rhodes and of course the person who plays him, Don Cheadle. This sounds actually pretty dope. Which basically it says it examines Tony Stark's biggest fears, and I assume that means something about like some sort of attack from some sort of alien whatever. We've got Secret Invasion from and that brings Samuel L. Jackson back as Nick Fury, which that should be fucking dope. I've always thought that they should give Nick Fury or Samuel Jackson his own sort of thing, because he's always assisting other people, but I think that he's good enough to care. Like we saw it in when he had a larger role in the Winter Soldier. How dope he was from that, and also obviously I thought he was probably the best part of Captain Marvel. If I'm going to be real,
absolutely. I mean, him and the cat were like the only good parts about that movie.
Yeah. One of the other things that I really wanted to, if we were going to spend time on anything, it would be this, is what do you think about Hayden Christensen, I believe that's how you pronounce it, returning as Darth Vader? What are your thoughts? What do you think?
I think it's appropriate. If they were to do that any other way, I don't know if it would have made as much sense. Following what was it, the film with where he was killed or chopped up by Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Revenge of the Sith. That's
Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, I don't know. I just said it earlier, but
yeah.
it's been a long time since that story has been told, and I'm glad that they're going to pick that up with the same character that we saw in the last film. So it's just like a continuation of the story. I feel like if they were to recast it, it would have been weird. And Hayden Christensen, I don't know what he's been up to lately, but he better get the fuck ready for this, because he cannot fuck this up.
Do you remember he was in that movie with Idris Elba?
Yeah, Takers.
Yeah, that was a fucking good. I don't understand why everybody hates Hayden Christensen. I don't understand it.
Wasn't he in Jumper too?
He was in Jumper. Yeah. I think so.
I thought he was good. I like the kid.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like once like a fan base like makes a declaration, everybody else has to follow in order. Otherwise, you're stupid. No, you're just terrible. It's like, yo, they did not set him up right in the Attack of the Clones, right? I thought he did a much better job in Revenge of the Sith, although there were some spots where it was a bit spotty. But as an actor, he's not like terrible. It's just, he got shit direction,
The three movies I've seen him in that I'm most familiar with him, again, Revenge of the Sith, Takers, and Jumpers, I've liked all three of those films. So I think he's a pretty good actor. And I'm sure he's like grown and developed since then. So for him to return as Darth Vader, which is like a very rich, notable character, like, and he knows he's going to have to deliver in that character. I'm hoping that he's ready for it.
And you need that part 2 of that Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader, because Darth caught it the first time. I have the high ground, Anakin, and Anakin just didn't listen.
It chopped his ass up. So we definitely need that part too. But so there are a couple other announcements I want to get into here, if you don't mind if I throw these out.
Yeah.
So we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp, the Quantumania, which is definitely going to dive into the quantum realm, see what the fuck is going on in there. Christian Bale has been confirmed as the villain in Thor 4, Love and Thunder. So he's going to be playing Gore the God Butcher. So he's just getting the Marvel bag and the DC bag. So good for you, Christian Bale. I really like Ironheart. So this film is, or this is going to be, I believe, a series, or it's going to be an original series starring Dominique Thorne, who is going to pick up Tony Hart's mantle. So she's going to play the character Riri Williams, who's going to Ironheart, who's going to develop like a suit that far exceeds what Tony Hart was able to develop. So like the most technologically advanced suit, or Tony Stark, the most technologically advanced armor suit like ever created. And she's just going to pick up and run with it from there. We also got, as you said, Secret Invasion, Moon Knight, which I don't know much about Moon Knight, but it looks really interesting. Hawkeye, which a few big name cast members were recently added to the list. Next to Jeremy Renner. Captain Marvel 2, which confirms Brie Larson as like she's returning to that role. This film is also going to feature Miss Marvel, so we're going to get Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and I forget who else is going to be in this movie. There's another superhero who's going to appear in this film. I thought it was going to be like Wanda or something like that. I don't know.
In which one?
Captain Marvel 2.
I can't remember.
It's going to be Captain Marvel. And there's another like female superhero who's going to appear in this film as well. I don't know who it is.
No, is it somebody from was it from Wakanda?
It might be Suri. I don't know. Yeah. It'll come to me at like the worst time. And lastly, the big thing that was mentioned was She-Hulk, which do you remember the Hulk movie that featured the that like other Hulk monster, like Destroyer or something like that?
Yeah, I try to forget.
I think this is the last film that featured Edward Norton.
Yes.
So he is going to be reprising.
No. That was the. Was that one? I thought that was.
Yeah, it was, and it had Liv Tyler in it.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So he's going to be reprising that same role with that same like villain in She-Hulk, who's going to be played by Tatiana Maslany. Mm-hmm. I'm really interested in this role. If there were any changes I would make, it's never too late to recast Brie Larson. Sure. And I was hoping that Rosario Dawson, because I know she was also like one of the names mentioned to play She-Hulk, but still not too late to cast her. She's fucking it up lately. So yeah, those are some of the big.
She's already in the Marvel universe. I mean, Jesus Christ, how many bags can you give somebody?
Yeah, we can still do it.
And she's already in the Marvel universe.
As what?
As she was in Daredevil. She was the like the nurse or whatever.
Yeah, but like, what if she like accidentally got injected with or exposed to some like gamma radiation in like in the radiology room?
You know what? It's
turned to She-Hulk.
It's comic book, so yeah, anything's possible. So just to really kind of quickly go through some of these things. So Fantastic Four, Patty Jenkins she's going to be directing Rogue Squadron, which was a game franchise. I think it was back in like the late 90s, early 2000s. I didn't play too much of Rogue Squadron, but I did play the X-Wing series. So that's really exciting. I was chatting. Shout out to my dude Dan. I was talking to him about it, and he was excited that that Patty Jenkins was going to be doing Rogue Squadron. I was like, it's okay, because it's controversial to say the least, but I still think that Wonder Woman was just okay. It was okay. It wasn't the best. It wasn't the worst. It was just okay.
Yeah. The problem I had most with like Wonder Woman was like how they diminish how powerful and strong Wonder Woman really is. Like,
well, they might be getting into that in part 2, so maybe that's what you're looking
I hope so, because like, in the commercials it looks like she's getting fucked up by a cat lady who just like special serum, and all of a sudden now she's like competing with Wonder Woman. Like Wonder Woman is a half god.
Yeah.
So she, if you look at the scale, if you look at some of the most powerful characters in like the Marvel universe, Wonder Woman ranks higher than Thor. I'm sorry, Wonder Woman's DC. So Wonder Woman ranks higher than a lot of those like other DC comic characters that like were, I think she's ranked actually above Superman technically, but then Superman just insane.
Yeah, more than Batman at any rate. So, but to quickly kind of finish this up, we have Lightyear, which is basically going to tell the origin story of Buzz Lightyear, and he's going to be voiced by Chris Evans. Then one that I think is super fucking interesting, Noah Hawley is going to be directing an Alien series, obviously based off of the Ridley Scott films. And Ridley Scott, I believe, is going to be executive producing or part of the producing in some form or fashion. And then also two pricing differences that they're now we see it, right? They're doing good with Disney TV Plus, and now they're like, check them fucking prices up, kid. And so it goes from being $6.99 to $7.99 for, I guess, the base package, and then we've got some other tweaks in there as well. The one thing I will say is that it's funny what everybody's getting on WB for doing what they did, as far as like basically just throwing all their slate of production onto HBO Max, right? But what they should do is re-examine Disney, because Disney's essentially just not making movies, right? Like they're making every fucking series under the sun, but they're just not making movies, which is an interesting approach. So instead of worrying about your slate of 2021, you're just not going to really produce any movies in 2021 and shift that over to 2022. Really they're not like good. They have a different model. And I think that they were set up differently, right? That they just, because of their slate of movies that were in production and / not in production, that they're just going to hold on to 2022 and see what the landscape looks like there. So they're not good guys. They're just doing it's just a different thing altogether because of.
Yeah. I mean, Disney, they did like 22 films, right? In like, what is it? Like phase 3, all the Iron Man, Captain America, Avengers movies. It was like a total of, I believe, 22 movies. So it makes sense for them to like, in this next phase, shift to a bunch of TV series. One, capturing that like long-term audience that like is on Hulu and Netflix, right? With like a lot of these upcoming series. So you're gonna be able to capture a lot of those people week after week, month after month, with these slates of series coming out. And then you could jump back in and sprinkle in a bunch of movies here and there. So I think it's a smart strategy. And obviously, I've got the Plus bundles. So that comes with like Nat Geo, and then you get ESPN. So it makes sense that, the price is going to start to jack up a little bit, especially since Netflix just went to like what, $12.99 or $14.99 or something.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around there. If they do one more, I think, I don't know, we might have to have a come to Jesus moment with Netflix.
Yeah. Or it's just like, hey, let me get that login from you, boss.
Yeah, let's start going halvesies on this. Okay, I think we only have time for one more story. I know we wanted to really do that Byron Allen story, but we might have to hold that to another time.
Let's jump to the Spider-Man. But before we jump to Spider-Man, I did want to give an honorable mention out there. This Disney Investor Day was huge. That was all the conversation. I appreciate Warner Brothers and DC Comics' efforts to like jump in the conversation and raise a hand like, hey, we've got a Black Batman coming. So in an upcoming comic book series, you remember Lucius Fox, who was Bruce Wayne's, I believe he was like the director of like technology in like
Lucius
most recent
Fox.
Lucius Fox, yep. He was played by Morgan Freeman. So in the Batman Dark Knight Rise film, we saw Batman eventually give up the Batman mantle, and then we saw him and the old guy at the cafe. And he essentially like renounced his title as Batman. So what's going to happen in the comic book series is Lucius Fox's son, I believe it's like Will Fox or something like that, or William Fox, is going to pick up the Batman mantle. He's going to be the first ever Black Batman. So that's
man, yo, them boys is going to be hot about this. Are you kidding
super
me? They're
what?
Like, wait, he's rich and he's going to have all them gadgets and he's going to be busting people up on the streets and nobody's going to take him to jail. That's what happened to mandatory minimums. He's got to have a mandatory minimum, right? Like,
is the police force, is Commissioner Gordon going to be working with him, or he's going to be like, I don't like this black guy running around my city
all
solving
lives matter.
Yeah, if Commissioner Gordon is about some all lives matter shit, interesting comic book. But I had to. So shout out to you guys, DC.